The sun woke Sarah gently that morning. It painted her room in soft, golden stripes. Her wedding dress hung by the window, a cloud of white silk and promises. Downstairs she could hear happy noises, her family. Their laughter was like music, a perfect symphony for a perfect day. She felt a deep joy, a warmth spreading through her chest. This day, this single beautiful day. It was everything she had ever dreamed of. A pure, uncomplicated happiness filled her soul. She felt like she was floating. She breathed in deeply. The air smelled of roses and lilies, her mother's favorite flowers. Music played softly from the living room, a gentle melody. Her mother was probably fussing over the table settings. Her sister, Chloe, would be making everyone laugh. The whole house felt alive, brimming with love and excitement. Sarah looked at her reflection. A bride. Her eyes sparkled. She was ready. Ready for her forever to begin with Mark. Her heart felt so full it might burst. There was no sign of trouble, not a single cloud in the brilliant blue sky. The sky was the color of Mark's eyes. Mark, her dear Mark. Soon, he would be her husband. They would stand together, they would say their vows, a lifetime stretched before them, so much hope, so much certainty. It was a flawless, perfect start to a flawless, perfect life. She had imagined this moment for so very long. She pictured herself walking down the aisle, the faces of her loved ones turning to watch, and at the end, Mark, his smile, his eyes only for her. She thought of the words they would share, promises whispered from the heart. Their life together would be simple, beautiful, filled with quiet moments and grand adventures. Everything was unfolding exactly as she had pictured it in her mind, for years and years. Sarah was the heart of this day, our bride. She was a woman full of hope, so full of kindness. She truly believed in love stories, the kind that lasted forever. She always looked for the good in people. She found it easily, especially in Mark. He was her anchor, her closest friend, the one she trusted above all others, or so she believed with all her hopeful heart. He was her safe harbor. Then there was Mark, the handsome groom. He was charming, everyone agreed. He was successful in his work. People were drawn to him. Mark had a special way with words. He could make anyone feel important. He made Sarah feel like she was the only woman in the entire world. He seemed so devoted to her, completely and utterly hers. His gaze, when it met hers, felt like a promise of unwavering love. Chloe was Sarah's younger sister, her maid of honor. They were closer than anyone could imagine. Chloe was Sarah's confidant, her most trusted ally, her fierce protector. Chloe had always been there for Sarah, through every joy, every sorrow, through thick and thin, as they say. Sarah trusted Chloe with her life. She shared her deepest secrets, her biggest dreams, with her sister. There were no barriers between them. And of course, there were the parents. Sarah's mother and father, Mark's parents too. Their faces were beaming with pride, joy radiated from them. Friends were arriving steadily, their laughter echoed through the house. A community had gathered. They came to celebrate love. They came to witness a sacred promise, the beautiful union of two souls, or what they all believed would be a beautiful union. The morning continued its happy dance. Hair was styled, makeup was applied, laughter filled the rooms. But then, a tiny thing happened, a small, almost invisible shift in the air. Chloe seemed a little distracted. Her usual bright energy was slightly dimmed. Her phone buzzed constantly. She would quickly glance at it, then hide the screen away. Sarah noticed this fleetingly, but she quickly dismissed the thought. Nerves, she told herself. Wedding day jitters. Everyone felt them. A little later, Sarah needed her own phone. She wanted to call her aunt, her favorite aunt who was running late, but she couldn't find her phone anywhere. She searched her purse, the dressing table. Chloe offered hers immediately. "Just use mine quickly, Sarah," Chloe said. Her voice sounded a fraction too bright, a little too eager. Her smile, Sarah now realized, seemed a bit tight, almost strained around the edges. It was a small crack in a perfect facade. Hesitantly, Sarah took Chloe's phone. As she held it, a new message alert popped up on the screen. It was from M, just a single stark letter. The preview of the message read, "Can't wait for tonight, after all this, you and me." Sarah's breath caught in her throat, a sudden sharp intake of air. M! Who could M be? The name echoed in her mind. A cold dread began to creep into her heart. Her heart started to thump, a loud heavy beat against her ribs. A strange icy feeling spread through her veins. M for Mark? No, it simply couldn't be. Her mind refused to accept it. Chloe wouldn't do that. Mark wouldn't do that. This had to be a mistake. A terrible, unfortunate misunderstanding. Surely there was a simple explanation. There had to be. This was her wedding day. Her hands were trembling, she could barely control them. She had to know the truth. Against every instinct that screamed at her to stop, to put the phone down, she opened the message thread from M. The profile picture icon next to the name was tiny, so small, but it looked familiar, terribly, sickeningly familiar. It was a picture she knew, a picture of Mark. The messages scrolled back further and further, weeks of them, months of them, words of love, passionate declarations, secret meetings meticulously planned, intimate details of an ongoing affair, an affair between Mark, the man she was about to marry, and Chloe, her own sister, her maid of honor, the two people she trusted most in the world. The betrayal was a physical blow. Every word she read was like a sharp stab to her heart. Every loving emoji they exchanged was a cruel mockery of her own feelings. She'll never suspect a thing, one message read. Soon, we can finally be open about us. Another one declared, this wedding is just a necessary step. Lies. So many lies. A mountain of betrayal, all hidden so carefully beneath warm smiles and kind gestures. The room around her started to spin. The light seemed too bright, the beautiful white dress hanging nearby, the fragrant flowers on the table, the joyful sounds of celebration drifting up from downstairs. It all felt like a grotesque, cruel joke, a terrible, vivid nightmare from which she couldn't wake. Her world wasn't just tilting precariously, it was shattering into a million tiny pieces, irreparable. Section 5. When the world shattered softly. Sarah dropped Chloe's phone. It clattered loudly on the polished wooden floor. The sound seemed to echo in the sudden deafening silence of her mind. She couldn't seem to draw a full breath. Her lungs ached with the effort. Air. She desperately needed air, but the air around her felt thick, heavy, almost poisonous. It choked her, suffocated her with the weight of the truth. The joyful music from downstairs. The melody that had sounded so sweet just moments before. It sounded like distorted screams now, a soundtrack to her private horror. Her beautiful, expensive wedding dress, the one she had chosen with such care. It felt like a ridiculous costume, a clown suit for the fool she had been. Who was this woman staring back from the mirror? This naive, trusting fool? She didn't recognize herself. Chloe, her sister, her blood, how could she? How could she do this to her? They had shared everything. All their childhood dreams, their teenage secrets, their adult tears and triumphs. Was any of that connection real? Or had it all been a long, elaborate, cruel lie? The pain was a physical agony, a sharp knife twisting slowly, relentlessly in her gut. It stole her breath, her strength, and Mark, the man she was supposed to marry in just a few short hours. The man she had given her heart to, the man she loved with every fiber of her being, or rather, the man she thought she loved. Who was he really? This stranger who had worn Mark's face, this cruel, deceitful stranger who had played her so perfectly. Her future, their future, gone. It had vanished into thin air, like smoke. Chloe walked back into the room then, her footsteps light. She was smiling, a carefree, happy smile. "Everything okay in here, Sarah?" she asked. Her voice sounded so normal, so breezy, too normal. Sarah slowly turned to look at her, really look at her sister for the first time. She saw the faint flicker of a lie deep in her eyes, the shadow of guilt hidden beneath the surface. Sarah bent down and picked up the phone. Her hand was shaking violently, uncontrollably. She held it up for Chloe to see. "M?" she whispered. Her voice was hoarse, barely audible, raw with unshed tears and dawning fury. Chloe's face went pale, utterly white. The color drained away from her cheeks as if by magic. She knew. Instantly. There was no denial in her eyes, just pure, unadulterated fear. Just then, Mark arrived at the bedroom door. He was fully dressed in his smart wedding suit, a white rose proudly displayed in his lapel. "Ready, my love?" he began, his voice full of cheerful anticipation. Then he saw Sarah's face, her expression of utter devastation. He saw Chloe's undisguised terror. He saw the phone clutched in Sarah's trembling hand. His confident smile faltered. It died on his lips. The room erupted. Not in loud shouts or accusations, not immediately, but in a terrible, heavy, suffocating silence at first. A silence pregnant with unspoken horrors. Then Sarah spoke. Her voice was dangerously low, quiet but filled with a cold, hard anger. "Explain this," she commanded. The two words hung in the air, accusing, heavy, final. The wedding preparations continued outside, completely oblivious to the emotional storm raging within those four walls. Mark stammered. He tried to speak. Chloe started to cry, soft, hiccuping sobs. Excuses began to tumble out, vague regrets, pathetic, flimsy words that tried to minimize the damage. They meant nothing, less than nothing. The betrayal was too deep, too vast. It had spread like a cancer, consuming everything good, all the happy memories, all the precious, fragile trust they had once shared. It was all gone. Sarah listened to them, numbly at first, as if she were watching a play, a tragedy unfolding before her. Then a cold, clear anger began to rise within her. A surprising clarity cut through the fog of pain. This wedding, this marriage, it couldn't happen. It was a sham, a mockery, a lie from the very beginning. She could not, start her new life built upon such a rotten foundation of deceit. Her parents rushed into the room, drawn by the unusual quiet, the palpable tension, the silence that screamed louder than any argument. They saw the broken pieces immediately. Sarah, white-faced and trembling. Chloe, weeping uncontrollably. Mark, looking utterly defeated. The awful truth spilled out. Ugly, painful. Shock rippled through her parents. Disbelief warred with dawning fury on their faces. Their hearts broke for their daughter. She had to make a choice. Right there, in that moment, with hundreds of guests arriving downstairs, with the music already playing, with a lifetime of expectation hanging in the balance. Or she could choose a different life, an unknown, uncertain path, but an honest one. "The wedding is off," Sarah announced. Her voice, when it came, was surprisingly firm, strong, resolute. The decision was made. There was no going back. Chaos ensued, pure, unadulterated public chaos. Guests had to be informed, one by one, or in hushed, shocked groups. The beautiful, expensively decorated venue slowly emptied. A sense of disbelief hung heavy in the air. The magnificent tiered wedding cake remained untouched, a monument to a dream that died. The vibrant flowers so carefully chosen began to wilt under the weight of the day's sorrow. A day meant for celebration had curdled into a day of whispers and profound sadness. Yet, amidst the swirling pain and public humiliation, Sarah felt a strange, unexpected sense of relief, a lightness. The decision was made. The terrible lie was finally over. She was free. Free from a false love that had almost ensnared her. Free from a toxic future that would have slowly poisoned her spirit. It was a painful, agonizing freedom, but it was freedom nonetheless. A chance to breathe again. Relationships inevitably fractured. Her bond with Chloe, her sister, was shattered into countless pieces. Perhaps beyond repair, time would tell. Her passionate love for Mark, once so all-consuming, was extinguished, completely snuffed out, replaced by a bitter, disillusioning knowledge of his character. But her family, her parents, rallied around her with unwavering support. Their genuine love became a true, strong anchor in the storm of her emotions. The days that followed were undeniably hard. Empty, filled with a quiet grief for what she thought she had, for the future she had lost. But Sarah slowly, painstakingly began to pick up the pieces of her broken heart. She focused all her energy on herself, on her healing, on rediscovering who she was without Mark. She learned to breathe deeply again, to find small moments of joy in simple things. A new path was slowly forming before her, unplanned, unexpected, but it was hers, entirely hers. Looking back on that terrible, transformative day, the pain was still immense, a raw, defining moment in the tapestry of her life. But now, with time and distance, she saw it was also a gift, a harsh, unwanted, yet precious gift. It taught her profound lessons about the nature of truth, the absolute non-negotiable importance of it, in herself, and in the people she chose to invite into her life. Honesty became her new compass. She learned that sometimes the very things we fear most in life, the dramatic endings, the sudden collapses of our carefully constructed worlds, they can actually be profound new beginnings, a surprising chance to rebuild from the ground up, to create something stronger, wiser, something built on the solid ground of authenticity, not on the shifting, treacherous sands of lies and illusions. She embraced the chance to start over. Trust became an even more precious commodity to her, not something to be given away lightly or easily, but something to be earned, slowly, steadfastly. She learned to trust her own intuition more, that small, quiet whisper of doubt she had once dismissed. She realized it was often right. Her inner voice, she discovered, was her truest, most reliable guide through the complexities of life. She vowed to listen to it always. And what about love? Did she still believe in love after such a devastating betrayal? Yes, she did. but a different kind of love now. A love built on a foundation of deep honesty, mutual respect, true unwavering partnership, not the breathless, perfect fairy tale she had once imagined in her youthful innocence, but something real, something solid, something worth waiting for, something she now knew with absolute certainty that she truly deserved. Her heart was healing, opening to new possibilities.